Moms of Reddit, what's something you know about your kid or kids that they don't think you know about them? My coworker found out her 12-year-old son was looking at porn on the family computer when his friends were over. She made her husband go talk to him about it. Dad walked into his bedroom, sat down on his bed, and said only your mother knows. Kid just quietly muttered oh my god. Never had a problem again. Coworker was dying BC he was just typing stuff like boob scum and hoping to strike gold. Kinda sweet. My teenage daughter doesn't know that I know she Snapchats with the boy she says she can't stand and saves everything he sends her. This post seems to indicate my parents know where I jack off, when I jack off, how I jack off, and to what I jack off. Still gonna carry on with the same mess ***t tomorrow cause they haven't called me out, and I don't want to get caught with the dick in my hand by changing it unexpectedly. My mother told me that she knew I smoked pot. She said non-pot smokers usually don't light incense every night and come home to eat half of the food in the refrigerator. But she said that, since my grades were fine and I was keeping up on all of my extracurricular activities, she didn't see a problem. Those tissues. You ain't got no cold, son. When learning a new word, our 18-month-old runs into the kitchen, away from us, so we can't see him, and practices sounding out the word, thinking that we can't hear him. Then he comes back into the family room to deliver the final product. My 16-year-old son watches cam porn. If you are sitting in bed, laptop on your lap, think about how the screen might reflect off the picture behind you. Geez. At least close the tab when I come in the room. Not a mom but an aunt. My niece, 4, is obsessed with rocks. She had an extensive rock collection that my brother and I helped build. When her little sister, 2, swallowed a rock from it, her parents made her throw out the entire collection. She threw it out, and when they weren't looking she got it back out. She keeps it hidden in her closet and I only know about it because I found her playing with it once while babysitting. Whenever my 5-year-old daughter is making me a surprise, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a cutout heart with ILVOEU mama written in it. If I guess what it is before she delivers it, she gets pissed. 1/10 times it's a drawing of poop with ILVOE poop written under it, because we like bathroom humor in my house. When I was like 13 I used to take really long showers. Heard my parents talking about how it's cause he is jerking off in there, they were right. Dad here. My 17-year-old daughter is into anal and my 14-year-old son searched for movies with most boobs last week. I know my 13-year-old daughter takes an Uber to school when it's raining or when she is running late. She doesn't realize her Uber account is connected to my credit card and she must think the Uber fairy pays for it. I just explained to the wife why the boys' socks are so crusty. She doesn't believe me. Please Reddit, tell her. I'm a kid, but whenever I get up to have a midnight snack, no matter how quiet I'm, my mom magically wakes up and asked if I'm okay. Like how I made literally no noise. The one my dad hit me with once I graduated was, we know you weren't at K's for a movie and sleepover. I asked him how he knew. What movie theater do you go to where they dump vodka on you? I don't have a kid, but when I was growing up my dad's house had a hole in the hallway wall that was well above our heads, but we could still reach it enough to throw stuff in it. So that's where we hid candy wrappers, bad school papers, etc. He never said anything to us about our secret hiding spot, so we always assumed our secrets were dropping under the house and were gone forever. He eventually went to patch it up, and before he did, he said, I want to show you guys something, and lifted us up to peer into our hole of sin while laughing hysterically. It wasn't even a foot deep. There was a cross beam right under it that we couldn't see, so everything we were tossing in was extremely visible from adult height. When I was little, my sister and I used to occasionally get in pretty big fights. Punches left bruises, and we'd get in trouble if there was evidence. She was really pissing me off one day, so I got the brilliant idea to bite myself and blame it on her. One problem with that, there's more than 5 years between us. Bit of a difference between a 5-year-old's teeth marks and a 10-year-old's. I was astounded when my mother somehow knew that my sister wasn't to blame. She never revealed her secret. Got her, though. We started biting each other by sinking our teeth into the top of each other's skulls. All the satisfaction, no marks. When our family plays Go Fish with our 5-year-old, and one of us asks another player for a card, he snickers if he has the card. Every time. When it's bedtime, my daughter stays up playing with toys. If she didn't talk to them, I probably wouldn't know. As long as she's not ratty the following day, I don't really mind. Whenever our son, 5 years old, isn't allowed to touch something, we firmly say no. He usually tests us out a bit by very slowly moving his hand towards said item, while looking at our face, and waiting for the exact moment we say no. This is how he tests us, and incredibly funny and kind of tough, to keep a straight face. He now figured out a way to circumvent the system. He looks the other way, while slowly moving his hand towards said item. Surely if he can't see us, we can't see him, right? Well, we are on to him. Edit. No, he is not a cat. We have a cat, and trust me, that cat is a lot smarter. Since Christmas, my almost 6-year-old daughter has been leaving stones from the garden in front of my bedroom door. She's been telling me it's the stone fairy. My eldest stepdaughter, 14, borrows my clothes and returns them to my closet when she's done wearing them. Not that big of a deal, but I really wish she'd ask. She goes to great lengths to deny that she likes my style of clothing. She will hide them in her book bag and change in the bathroom at school. I've tried buying her similar styles in her own size. She's a medium, I'm a large/XL, but she still always goes right back to mine. I'm honored that she likes my style, even if it's in secret, and hope that one day we can use this as a bonding experience. My eldest son, 13, still sleeps with his plush Dalek at night. He waits until his brother, they share a room, goes to sleep, then gets it out of the top of the closet and sleeps with it, and returns it to its place in the morning. I hope he never grows out of loving something so dearly that he just can't part with it. My middle stepdaughter, 11, and youngest daughter, 10, are full on pissed that they weren't born as twins. Seriously angry about it. So, they created their own not twin club and have their own secret language. The scary part is that they actually act like twins sometimes, to the point that if one of them is upset or hurt, the other knows about it without even being there. I hope they are always this close and share that special bond. My youngest stepson, 9, leaves treasures for the rest of the kids to find. He has no clue that everyone in the house knows it's him, because he isn't the least bit sneaky, lol. He will find a pretty rock shaped like a heart and leave it for one of the girls, or find an interesting looking old coin and leave it for his brother. Sometimes he'll stumble across a discarded marble or something similar and leave it for his father and I. He swears it's the backward pirate that does it. I love that he has such a giving heart and hope he continues doing for others with no particular reason in mind other than to see them smile. This trend terrifies me to think about the things I tried hiding from my parents that they probably knew about. I can hear my 4-year-old son walking down the hall when he's supposed to be in bed because he walks like a dinosaur. I set alarms for the morning on the Amazon Echo. When I leave the room, my daughter cancels them and I hear her snicker, "No school tomorrow, haha." What she doesn't realize is I also have an alarm clock on my phone. She's 5. Edit. Previous words didn't clarify it was my kid. Sorry for the confusion. My 6-year-old has a secret doodle pad that he draws in at bedtime. I can hear his lamp click on when he sneaks drawing time in. He will never get in trouble for it. Edit. Thank you for the silver, mysterious stranger. I know that he's watching YouTube videos about Minecraft on his phone when he's supposed to be sleeping. I make a bit of noise in the hallway an hour after bedtime and listen for the sound of him putting his phone away. Then 10 minutes later there's undeniable sounds of sleep breathing. I don't wanna always catch him. He needs to be able to get away with some things. Whenever my barely 4-year-old makes a mess, like spills her juice, she blames my 8-year-old. Even if she's not here. Like daddy, it was Sophie. She came home and spilled it, then she left again. I have a 3-year-old, and every morning she comes into my room and crawls in bed with me for another 30 minutes before we get up. She has started doing this new thing where, when I fall back asleep, she will kiss my cheek and tell me how much she loves me. It's a small thing, but I love that she does this, even though she thinks I'm asleep. There are a lot of hard things about being a parent and having to wake up early with a toddler, but her sweet little voice telling me I love you so much mommy makes it all worth it. My son doesn't eat the sandwiches I make him for lunch at school. He just throws them away and eats the chips and cookie. Not a parent, but something my mom knew I lied about, but let me believe she didn't know, was at one time I had 2 F's on my report card in middle school, and I was making excuses as to why I didn't bring it home for a week. She told me to bring it home or else. When I went to homeroom at the end of the next day, I jumped on a computer and forged a fake report card with a C average appearance. Little did I know my mom had gone to the school to get my report card that same day. And when I got home she asked for my report card. I gladly laid out the fake and she said, "Oh, that's not too bad. But I have your real report card right here." And she pulled out the real one. Got grounded for the rest of the school year for that one. When my son and I play peekaboo, I can still see the top of his head when he ducks behind the ottoman. My 3-year-old son wipes his budgies on the walls. He denies it's him. I've seen him do it. My son's a bit older now, but when he was 11 I found out he was watching breastfeeding videos and vaginal shaving videos on YouTube. Apparently these videos are science, so the nudity is allowed. Slick little dude found a loophole. Didn't confront him about it, but it did make me have the talk with him. Had me cracking up, but the wife wasn't as tickled as I was. Lol. Edit. Just realized this was directed to moms of Reddit. Sorry, it's Monday. When I was a kid used to hide a book under my pillow. I can't remember exactly the brand, but I think it was the Magic Tree House books. And I had these fish lights that I hung over my headboard, and at night I'd always tell my mom to leave the lights on because I was scared of the dark. I'd stay up for hours reading those books. Then one time my book was on my nightstand rather than under my pillow, where I always kept it. That's when I knew she knew my tricks. When my 9-year-old is in the shower forever, I know it's because she's trying to hide the fact that she's crying because she misses her dad. It's been almost 3 months since he died, and she's still getting used to the fact that he's gone. Obligatory edit because I wasn't expecting this to blow up. My ex was suffering from severe mental illness and killed himself. I'm raising my 9 and 7-year-old, and they don't have the ability to understand how much mental illness wrecks a person. Thanks for all of your kind words and the silver, friends. Secondary edit. I'm going to try to reply to all the comments after I get home from work tonight. A few quick answers. The kids talk to a grief counselor at their school. I encourage them to just talk about their feelings. My son is 7 and has ADHD, so he is less affected because he doesn't have a lot of time to think about it. But my daughter was definitely daddy's girl, and she's having a tough time through all of this. Most days are good, but I catch her staring off with a sad expression or just crying out of nowhere. She has a lot of his personality and bottles things up very easily. I've been trying to coerce her into talking to me about it, but she's got both of our stubbornness in her. Thank you for the secondary silver and the gold, ×2, and platinums. Really, for the bad rapper did sometimes has, you guys really brighten my day. My 3-year-old daughter doesn't understand whispering to herself isn't the same as thinking in your head. She loves to call people idiots to herself and giggle not knowing we can all actually hear her. Edit. Autocorrect madness. Wow, thank you so much for the silver, kind stranger. My little brother used to eat candy when he wasn't supposed to when he was little. So to hide the evidence he would shove the wrappers in his ear instead of the trash, so my parents wouldn't see them. They would see them sticking out of his ear and would have to pull them out with tweezers. Once there were 4 to 5 wrappers in both ears. Edit. When my eldest was learning to use the bathroom all by himself, no matter where I was in the house I'd yell wipe, flush, wash hands. When he emerged, he got so annoyed in the end, he could not understand how I always knew. He doesn't forget now. I know that I walked in on my then 13-year-old son masturbating, but I'll let him believe he was stealthy enough that I didn't notice. My wife was the one to make the discovery, but she doesn't use Reddit much, so I'll share on her behalf. When she revealed to our 7-year-old son that we can see everything he searched on any device, he got terrified and embarrassed. The worst thing we found was YouTube searches for stuff like people showing their butts or smooching. Edit. Since this blew up, I should point out that my wife sent his sister into the other room so she could talk to him privately. We accidentally caught him looking up inappropriate stuff, and then, only after he tried to deny it, revealed that we can, but have not yet, view all web traffic on our router. Also, thanks for the gold, kind stranger. Moms know what that crusty stuff is on your socks, towels, etc. Dad here. My 3-year daughter sneaks part of any candy she can and hides it under her pillow for bedtime so she can snack on it if she wakes up at night. It was adorable until it was foil wrapped chocolates around Christmas and they melted for us to find a couple mornings later. I know his hiding spot for hide and seek. I know exactly where he is. Hell, I can see him. Behind the stroller isn't the greatest cover. I can hear him too, as he answers my exaggerated, "Are you behind the couch?" with no. But I'll still look for him everywhere until he creeps out and shouts boo, so I can gasp and be ever so surprised. Because toddlers can be fun if you play along. Edit. RIP my inbox. I can't reply to everyone, but keep the cute hide and seek stories coming. You're all amazing. I'm not a parent, but I started smoking weed when I was 13. Then at a family gathering, when I was about 21, the subject of weed came up somehow. In the middle of the conversation, my mom turns to me saying, "Ask him. I'm sure he knows all about it. He's been smoking it since he was 13. I had never been caught smoking or having it. She just knew. When I asked how she knew, she just said, "Do you think I'm stupid?" Not a mom, but mom awareness related. When I was in HS, I would jerk off before bed, but sometimes I would be really tired, and it would be hard to focus on the chosen scenario. Yap on free meat beating all from the imagination. So I would stand up. We lived in a post and beam with squeaky floor, and one particularly squeaky night I heard an exclamation of annoyance and stomping feet from the room below mine. My mom had been working and was tired of the squeaks my nighttime activities were producing. She ran up and scolded me. "What are you, dancing?" Really hope she thought I was dancing. My stepdaughter, an adult now, used to lie all the time to look cool. We never said anything about it, but I hated the silly lying. Sometimes she lied about more important stuff too. My 7-year-old thinks that she is too old to be tucked into bed or cuddled, but she still wants to be. So she tells me that she is cold and needs me to warm her up. We live in South Louisiana lol. I'll take any excuse to cuddle her. I used to whisper to her after she had fallen asleep, "Thank you for being my baby." Then I'd get up and go about my business. She was not asleep and whispered back, "Ah, you're big girl." That was that for the tucking in. Now she's is too big because she's not my baby anymore. My 3-year-old daughter likes to hide things. When we ask her if she knows where it is, she says, "I don't know," even if we can clearly see where she hid the item. Edit. TL. Doctor, Dad found my porn stash. I found his. Not the parent in this situation. In fact, it's a bit of a 50/50 story. So here goes. I was about 13/14, and we finally got a family computer, which basically only me and my dad ever used for recording guitar parts and browsing the net. I was introduced to Kazaa and later LimeWire, file sharing programs that meant I could get my hands on all sorts of new music videos to check out and new music. This is well before YouTube was a thing. So naturally, one day I searched for porn. Of course there was tons of it, likely full of malicious viruses, but as a teen and this our first computer, I was oblivious. So I downloaded dozens of videos and pictures and had them saved in a maze of folders that I had to work through to get to, thinking it was enough to hide from my parents. One day I opened that folder and found a Word document titled with my name. I opened it, and it was a letter from my dad, who obviously found my stash, and rather than blow up at me or confront me, wrote a very simple letter which honestly made me think twice about downloading anything else. I deleted the lot, never said a word to my dad, and he's never said anything to me. However, what my dad doesn't know is that after that I actually found his stash on the hard drive. The Skydog used the same method I did of burying folders within folders so deep he guessed no one would find them. I regret to this day that I never wrote him a letter. Edit. Apologies. The question asks, moms, I'm very much the son in this story, but I thought it might be funny to share anyway. My parents probably know I masturbate, even though I do it in private. When I was in 6th or 7th grade I pulled a muscle from beating the meat too much. Had to go to the doctor, and I thought I got away with it by telling the doctor I fell. Fast forward a few years, and I was telling this story to a friend. Only then did I realize my parents knew exactly what it was, and they joked about it for years and I didn't catch on. Also, it happened on a laptop the school provided, so that week I had to take it to the IT guy for a Trojan virus. When I got the computer back I saw that I didn't clear the history too. Not only did my parents know, but I'm sure my teachers knew too. Important background. I forgot to mention mom knew for sure, because she was the office secretary at my middle school at the time. The son went to Catholic school K-12. We could get detentions for things like untucked shirt tails, talking during mass, or when at the age, having a 5 o'clock shadow. We didn't have buses, so my mom would take me to school. Every time I got a detention I just told her I needed to be at school early. Our parents didn't have to sign the paper. Well, turns out they called and emailed our parents about it. I basically lied to my mom's face every time and she never said anything until I smugly brought it up one day in college. Very rude thinking back on it, and she basically put me in my place and told me she knew every time. Not the parent, but the son. Growing up, my twin brother and I shared a bedroom. One day, our mom gets drunk and decided to come up to our room to say goodnight. She takes this opportunity to tell my brother to stop jerking off onto his sheets. It was me. They were my sheets. She thought it was him. Make sure to like and subscribe for more daily content. Thanks for watching.